People all over social media are weighing in.
Among them, Monica, a local man who knows firsthand what it's like to use his gun in self-defense and then be charged with a crime. He was later cleared, but he's speaking out now about this latest case. Fox 2's Randy Wembley live now with more. Randy.
Hey guys, there's a saying in the gun community that an armed society is a polite society. That clearly was not the case in Lake Orion. And something that was mentioned several times during Let It Rip and definitely came up during the conversation I had with Marcus Weldon is that things should have never gotten to the point to where a gun was drawn. That they did is entirely problematic, and thankfully no one got killed.
I'm glad no one got hurt. I mean, this could have been nasty.
That's about the only good thing Marcus Weldon can say about this tense exchange in Lake Orion. By now, you've heard about the bump-turned-argument and shout fest capped off with the woman pointing a handgun at a mother and daughter.
Both of y'all put guns down on me, okay?
She and her husband now facing felony charges. He pulled out a gun too.
Everybody is not a responsible gun owner. Yes, we all can partake in the Second Amendment. We're all Americans if you don't have a felony record. But at the end of the day, everybody doesn't have the mental or emotional capability of being a responsible gun owner and having a firearm, because that is your last resort.
Weldon knows that firsthand. He was arrested, tried, and eventually acquitted for shooting two men in self-defense back in 2014.
I think both sides had some flaws.
He took to a Facebook live stream to offer a hot take on the Lake Orion incident, which has now gone viral. We caught up with Weldon Thursday.
Both parties had both wrong in this situation. I think the gun owner should not have drawn her firearm at that moment. I think that was not a great bodily harm or threat to her life. It's also people's responsibility not to escalate a situation. If someone bumped my child, I understand as a father, I would have been upset and it would check the person. I think that the ownership also falls on the family to say, hey, walk away.
Be the bigger person. Weldon says he got a crash course on that about 7 years ago, dealing with an aggressive drunk who was armed. Weldon, too, had a gun, but did not use it.
He pulled it, he had his firearm pointing to the ground. At that point, he didn't point it at me. So I backed away and I left the scene. I seen he was intoxicated. By him having the gun pointed at the ground, I seen room to escape. I seen room to run away, took the high road.
Many would say, your ego took a hit, your pride took a hit.
I tell you what, my pride took a hit, but not my pockets in court. So I would take that any day.
It's said that he who can control his own spirit is stronger than the one who can take cities. Clearly a tense situation in Lake Orion. Thankfully, no one hurt, and hopefully this is something that everyone can learn from. Huel, Monica?
Randy, many feel, or at least they're saying, that this was racially motivated. What does Marcus think about it?
Well, that's something we definitely talked about during our conversation. He says that as of now, he did not see anything in those videos that would suggest that the woman Jillian Woostenberg was motivated by racism, or that she is a racist. We don't know that woman, neither does he. But he said, made the point also when we talked about that just because it wasn't racist does not mean that the action was not wrong. So one thing can be true and as well as another, and so that's kind of where he's landing now, and obviously some others as well. But when you have a very, very tense environment and very historical moment that we're living in right now, where race and a reckoning with race is at the forefront, these sort of situations can become tense and go from 0 to 100 in a heartbeat, and we definitely saw that in Lake Orion.
And ultimately a judge will decide. Randy, thank you.
That's right.
Report.